how did you wind up the first time as the analyst? That time it was on ESPN.
You know, there were a couple things that led me in that direction. One, my rodeo coach was Tim Corfield, and Tim was also the general manager at that time of the College Rodeo Association. And they were looking for someone to be the analyst at the College National Finals. They called me, and I had some pretty good broncs drawn that weekend. And I didn't know if I really wanted to turn them out and go do this. And so I was sitting behind the chutes with Lewis Feild. I go, Louis, I got something to ask you. I go, they want me to come up and they want me to be an analyst at the College National Finals. And he goes, well, you know, what's it pay? And I told him, and it wasn't that much money at the time. And he goes, what'd you do? And I go, well, I turned them down. And he goes, you never know where that might lead. I've thought about that a lot since, in the last 30 years. So I went up there and I did that with Red Steagall. And so Red kind of taught me some stuff, and I learned a lot from him. And then through Tim Corfield again, they needed someone to represent the college rodeo side of the sport. They had judging seminars, and the college, it was partly from college and partly from the PRCA. Jack Hannum was teaching those, and I got with Jack, and we went around and we did judging seminars. So I'd get in front of a crowd and I'd talk, break each event down, we would talk about all the rules and this and that. And so I was in front of crowds and talking and really broke rodeo down to a simpler spot than a guy does when you're a competitor. But at one of the seminars, a guy by the name of John Baumgartner, who actually produced the NFR telecast at that time, he was at it. And after the seminar, he came to me and he goes, hey, we're doing the DNCFR, they televise those as well. He goes, would you want to come over and be the analyst for the bronc riding at the DNCFR in Pocatello? I thought, well, yeah, I'd do that. So I went over and I did that, and I ended up being the analyst on each event at Pocatello, and then he just hired me for the NFR after that, and it just kind of happened.
And what's funny how times have changed. You did the NFR with the late Hadley Barrett, who was a great guy, and Randy Corley.
Yes. Yeah.
But you sat between them and they smoked the whole time.
Which,
there's no way you could get away with any of that.
Chimneys.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them, they were just smoking. And boy, by the end of it, and I was about half allergic to smoke anyway. And when I left that rodeo after the 10th round, the next day I'd completely lost my voice from all the smoke those two were smoking. But it was a good experience to sit between those two guys as well. I mean, their knowledge and their Hadley was amazing, and Randy was as well, So, I was lucky enough to fall in to being around just like Red Steagall and Randy and Hadley and you, and I was around some really high quality people that were in the sport.